Speaker, at his recent retreat in Charlottetown, the Prime Minister said that life is really tough for politicians. Today he's off for another trip to New York for 3 days to give a couple of speeches and burn a whole lot of fuel. At the same time as he raises carbon taxes on Canadians for the crime of driving to work and feeding their families. Yesterday, inflation was up and way up. It is accelerating. It is higher than in the States and in Japan, which could drive up interest rates. Will he balance the budget and axe the tax to bring inflation and interest rates down?
We've been very clear that affordability is, of course, the top priority for this government. It is very clear that it is a huge concern on the minds of many, many, many Canadians. It is certainly, it has caused us to look at programs such as removing the GST from the construction of new rental units, provide money for home efficiency, the grocery rebate, and a range of other things. But I would say, Mr. Speaker, that it's also important that while we are addressing affordability, we do so in a manner that actually will allow us to also address the climate crisis. It is an existential threat to the future of our children. Shame on them for having no climate plan. On this side of the House, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can do both.
Well, they're prepared to thunderously applaud anyone other than their own leader who stands up in the House of Commons. No wonder the Prime Minister says it's a really hard time to be a politician. And, right now, speaking of hard times, he's off in New York for another 3 days, burning a lot of jet fuel while he applies a carbon tax that he wants to quadruple to 61 cents a litre on farmers, single parents, on struggling working class families who have to choose between eating and heating. Will the Prime Minister park the plane, end the high-carbon hypocrisy, and axe the tax?
Unlike the Conservatives, our government actually has a plan to support Canadians during this time. We have, for example, the grocery rebate helping 11 million Canadians, Mr. Speaker, 4.2 million Canadians with the workers' benefit, over 6 million Canadians with indexing old age security. Mr. Speaker, what is their plan? That's right. They don't have one.
Our plan is to axe the tax and use technology, not taxes. It's really incredible that this high-flying, high-carbon hypocrite is jetting around the world at the expense of Canadian taxpayers at the same time as he raises fuel taxes on everyday Canadians. The NDP supports him 100% in this 61 cent a litre carbon tax that they want to impose. That and the inflationary deficits have driven inflation back up. Will this government finally end the inflationary taxes and deficits so that we can bring down rates before Canadians go bankrupt?